Hey everybody, welcome to our latest webinar. This one is it's called The Money's in the List. That's a great title. We're going to talk about email marketing and just kind of the world of email. It's been around a long time, but we really want to talk about how you guys can capitalize on the benefits of email marketing. So I would like to first start out by thanking our sponsor, J&J Vision. They are an incredible partner to work with. They continue to be over the years. They are just a fantastic partner from a marketing standpoint. They do a lot to support their clients as well as industry partners like us. So thank you to the team at J&J. We really appreciate all of your support over the years. Things like this aren't possible without your support. Along for the ride with me today are two lovely ladies that have worked at Marketing for ECPs. We have Maria and Ashley. So I'm going to let you two sort of introduce what you guys do, but let's start with Maria Miranda. Your title is Email Marketing Strategist with Marketing for ECPs. What does that mean?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. So I am the person in charge of creating email marketing strategies for our clients. And with that, I come with frequency, what content we should send, when is the best time to send it. And then I design the emails, take care of the list, the whole shebang. And yeah, and then we track the performance and then see from there where we can pivot or how we can do a strategy for the next quarter.
Amazing. And this is your first webinar with us. And so our audience may not have met you. So why don't we just say something interesting about you? What's something that the audience might like to know about you?
Something interesting. So my name, as you can see, is very Spanish. I'm from Colombia and it's in my blood to dance. I love to dance, and so much so that I created a TikTok account all about dancing, and I was lucky to reach almost 16,000 followers. So
wow, yeah. Very, very cool. And then also along with us is Ashley Rohde. Ashley, you have been with us for years, and you have a very long title there, Marketing Automation Specialist and Marketing Scientist. Two really impressive titles. What does that mean? What do you do for us?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So it means I do a lot of different things, but primarily most of my time is spent with paid ads, as well as creating emails, a lot of drip campaigns, that kind of thing, just kind of making sure it all works really well.
So you're in charge of making people money. You take their money, you invest it, and back it comes, right?
Absolutely.
So you're kind of everyone's best friend.
Definitely.
And for those that are new to Marketing for ECPs and haven't watched one of our webinars, my name is Kevin Wilhelm. I am the president and co-founder, and today I am playing the role of moderator. So let's get going. I'm going to start with you, Ash. I want to dive into the big question as to why should we even use email marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a number of reasons, but these are just kind of the biggest ones. Direct communication. Your email list is made up of those who want to hear from you. They're already your patients, or they soon will be, and this is how you can communicate with them directly. Something that we always say is send the right message at the right time to the right audience, and this is how you're going to accomplish all three of those things. Another reason is it's easy to show the return on your investment. Most, if not all, of the email sending programs should have built-in analytics to tell you about those important metrics. How many people are opening your emails? How many of them are clicking on the links you've provided? And bonus points, if you connect Google Analytics to your website, you can get conversion tracking as well. Another reason is low cost. MailChimp, Constant Contact, they have low fees. Some of them are free to get you started. Just as your list builds, the bigger it is, the more you may pay for it. But it's easy to get started with the low cost there. And also, it's really effective. You can expect anywhere from the range of $38 to $44 return on investment per $1 you spend. To be the most effective, we do suggest that you test everything. So testing your subject line, testing your content, and testing the frequency.
Okay, so to recap, we can directly communicate to patients and easily show the return on investment. It doesn't cost a lot and it's really effective. Those are four really good reasons. Which platform do you recommend? So here you have MailChimp, you have Constant Contact. Those are two really popular ones. For someone who doesn't really have one like this, what's a platform that you recommend?
Really good question. For the most part, it kind of comes down to what you're most comfortable with. MailChimp has a free version that you can use, easy to make an account, test it out, see if it's user friendly to you and kind of what you like best. Try some out, see what works for you, and go from there.
Cool. I think the other thing too is a lot of patient management softwares have this built in as well. I know our friends in Canada at Visualize have Visual Connect. It's a module that you can pay that allows you to do this. And so I know that most patient management softwares do have this built in. You have to contact them, have them sort of unlock it as well. If you are on Visualize, talk about Visual Connect. If you utilize different patient management softwares, just contact them, see what's available, and see if you can just unlock this and use it. Is that really where the ROI comes in, the 38 to 44? It's just the cost of running an email marketing campaign, the fees to push out an email, or the fees, the subscription versus the revenue that comes in? I'm guessing that's really where the ROI is coming from, right?
Absolutely. And even your time that you spend putting it all together.
Fantastic. Just to remind everyone watching live, the benefit of joining live is you get to ask questions as we go. So some of them I will ask in real time, some I'm going to wait to the end. We do have a Q&A period at the end. So if you do have questions, please ask, but my turn first. So I'm going to continue and ask Ashley, as we move forward, how many people are utilizing email? What's the opportunity that's in front of us?
Yeah, good question. So right now, there's 3.9 billion daily users. With that number climbing every day, it's expected to hit 4.3 billion in 2023. Businesses who use email, who use segmented email campaigns, note as much as a 760% increase in revenue, with 73% of millennials preferring communication from businesses to come via email. 78% of marketers have seen an increase in email engagement over the last 12 months. And likely due to COVID, I don't think we're going to see that number decrease anytime soon. And 59% of respondents say marketing emails influence their purchase decisions.
Interesting. So we know that email is climbing. We know that millennials prefer communications through email, probably text. It probably even trumps email. I think just electronic communication more than phone calls. All that makes sense. The first one, the 760% increase in revenue, that's probably compared to other, using broad audience lists. So a huge opportunity here. You mentioned something though, you said segmented email campaigns. Can you drill down on what that means? What does a segmented email campaign mean?
Yeah, for sure. So my best example for that is if you've got more than one clinic and you want to send a curated message to one of those, but not the other, it's a great way to keep your list separated and make sure that's the right message that you're sending to the right audience.
Cool. So this is also the other benefit of utilizing patient management software is we can actually pull out those patient segments, determine certain campaigns, and put together strategies that specifically target, right? Because marketing is all about the right message to the right person at the right moment. I think email allows us to really come up with the right person right at the right time. And so utilizing your patient segmentation works really well. So these are great numbers. How do they apply in eye care specifically?
Great question. These stats are about the general population, but as our world moves online more and more, we're seeing trends like this kind of no matter the industry. These numbers definitely reflect what we've seen in eye care. Okay,
amazing. So you are seeing this, that more people are using it, more people are opening them, because email's been around a long time, but it really comes down to this is how people are preferring to be communicated with rather than answering their phone. I think there's a phonophobia going on right now. A lot of people they see a phone call and they freak out, right? So they'd rather sort of that passive communication. So I think if you're a practice owner and you've been relying so much on phone calls, my guess is people are answering them less and less. what a great way to allow email to kind of step in and be that communication platform. Maria, we had a question come into the chat, so this is a great time to turn to you, specifically regarding the rules in which we play by. So what are those rules when it comes to creating and executing emails?
Yeah, absolutely. So with email, it is very important that you familiarize yourself with the rules and regulations of the country that you operate in. So in Canada, it is CASL laws, and in the US, it's CAN-SPAM Act. These regulations exist to protect users from basically unwanted information. So as a business, so these are very high level, the most important rules to follow in order to comply with the laws. It's first, make sure that you have express consent. So you really want to make sure that you're not sending marketing material to users who specifically said, do not contact me unless it's for an appointment reminder. Next is the subject line is not deceiving. So you want to be as transparent as possible. If you're sending a promotion, in the subject line, you should say promotion. Or if it's a newsletter, if you are sending an appointment reminder, don't send a promotion in the body of the email. The from email address is recognizable. So make sure that it is very clear to your users who's sending it from your company. It shouldn't be anything like 123@gmail.com or anything like that. And then the unsubscribe option is visible and easy to action. So what we do here at Marketing for ACPs when we design the email is that we even include a little section for an unsubscribe at the bottom of the design. Even though most, if not all, of the email service providers have an automatic footer that has that option, this is just kind of like another way to make sure that you do your due diligence and you are following the law, because you want to make it a two-way transaction. Your users should be happy to receive your messages, but in the case that they don't anymore, it should be easy for them to action it. You don't want to force anybody to receive your emails.
Okay, cool. So I have a few questions here. So the last one, we want to make the unsubscribe option visible. So a lot of people say, do we want to hide it and tuck it away so people don't unsubscribe from me? But sort of what I'm hearing from you is give them the option that if they aren't interested in the content, allow them to unsubscribe, because I do know that the alternative is that they hit that spam button, and that's the button we want to avoid at all costs. I do know through doing email marketing for years that you actually get a quality score when it comes to domain integrity. And if a lot of people hit that spam button or block button, then it actually hurts your domain authority. Whereas if they're simply unsubscribing from the list, then they're just changing their preferences. So that's probably, I guess, the strategy there, right? To create an unsubscribe button that's visible so that we're avoiding somebody hitting the block or the spam button, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then if, in the future, you have more promotions coming up and they want to be resubscribed, it's easy to update that. If they already blocked you, like hit that spam button, it's case by case and it's just more complicated. So it's also like just making it very easy for them, giving them their option. We haven't seen a big spike, and studies have shown if you give them that option, people are just going to unsubscribe. It's about what you're sending and how often.
Cool. So then the from email address, what do you recommend? Should it come from the owner, the doctor, or should it come from a generic like info@thepracticename.com? What do you think is best?
It's really up to you. What's the most important is the domain has to be obvious that it's your company. So it could be info@yourcompany.com, your name at yourcompany.com. Studies have shown that the most customized, so if it says your name, like it's come from the CEO at company.com, it has worked in opening rates. Even you can put no reply at yourcompany.com, because, and the reason why you might want to do that is if you put your person or your company email, like your name, you might receive all of the out of office emails. So just kind of an effective way to clear your mailbox.
Yeah. So really it comes that you may, and this is what's great about these programs, is that you can have the email be sent from one email address, but the reply might come back. So you might choose to have it come from you as the owner, but if somebody hits the reply button, it comes back to an info or a general email inbox so that you don't have hundreds of out of office and things like that. The last question I have for you on this slide. So you mentioned express consent, there's implied consent. What's the difference? And I think this really comes down to the legality here, but what's the difference between implied consent and express consent?
Right, so the major difference is with implied, you have had a relationship where you gather that email one way or another, where they purchase something from you and you have that email. However, they did not specifically said, yes, you can send me marketing material. So with that, you can still, the law says that you can still send them email as long as you have that unsubscribe option. You know, they can use it if they would wish to. The express consent is more, they went to your website and yes, add me to your mailing list, or, when they're filling out a form, yes, send me marketing material. So it's the all in all proof, like, yes, I can send you marketing material. And then of course, these people could also change their mind whenever they want to unsubscribe.
Okay, awesome. So now that we have the rules out of the way, let's talk strategy. How do we build the strategy?
Yeah, so actually, before we start building, after you get the rules, it is very important that you clean your list. Yeah, so if we go back to the last slide, we use a software called NeverBounce, and there are many softwares out there, but NeverBounce is great because basically you have your entire database and it cleans it off any bounced emails. It is very important to do this so that you avoid the spam folder, and also so you have better you better track the performance of your emails. So that way, like when you're sending it to 2,000 emails and you have cleaned your list, you know that those 2,000 emails are viable emails and they're not like 20% bounce. And then, yeah, so now that you have the laws, the regulations, and you clean your list, now it is time for the fun, which is actually building the emails and the strategy. So with any marketing medium, the most effective plan is to plan your content for the next 3 to 6 months. So, this way you make sure that all of your marketing efforts, all of your marketing mediums are kind of aligning towards, reaching a goal, and use email as a way to bring people to your website, to introduce them to what you have to offer in your website. If you have marketing campaigns or promotions throughout the year, use email to support that. Or if you have social media contests or giveaways, use email to support that as well. So it all, synergy. And then another very important factor is planning the frequency. This is very different from industry to industry, even from company to company. You have to, as Ashley mentioned, test everything out. So maybe start off, if you're starting off email marketing, start off once a month. And this all really depends on how much content you have to share with your clients, how many promotions do you have, and then give it about a quarter or so just to see and track the performance. Okay, sending it once a month, these were the analytics. And then maybe see, what about if we increase the frequency or we decrease? So it's all about patience and testing, but eventually you will find that sweet spot. And then of course, with the actual email itself, short emails and keeping it simple. Nowadays, especially with COVID, companies know that you're at home, that you're in your mailbox. So people are receiving tons and tons and tons of emails. So you want to make sure that the emails that they're receiving from you are, visually engaging, are digestible content, to the point. You don't want it to be another long text of email. Something fun that they could look and, oh, this is really cool. And then always have a call to action. So like I said before, use email to bring people to your website. So read more if you have a blog, or contact us, or book a meeting, or schedule an appointment. Whatever it is, always just have that call to action. And then of course, stay in brand. So with all of your marketing mediums, always make sure that you use your logo, that you use your company colors, your company font. That way your users know that these emails are coming from your company.
Got it. So this is interesting because for years we've talked about newsletters, right? We send out one a quarter. It's everything about the practice that someone needs to know. But what we're finding is that short emails to the point, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to do? They're performing better. It saves time. It saves energy. And we also know the engagement's higher because people are seeing one call to action and actioning it rather quickly rather than 10 or 12 different messages, right? So I love that. How do we collect more email addresses? I'm a brand new practice, or maybe I've just started, thinking about emails. What's a tip that you might have for me to help me build my email list?
Absolutely. If you Google, there are tons of ways, but some of the most studied or like most effective ways are using your social media, create a contest. Follow us, give me your email, and whatever else, take a friend. That's a very effective way. Another way is in your own website. Use it to get emails, add a form, add a pop-up message that says, hey, want to learn more about, if we're talking optometry, educational content, or maybe promotions that we might have, add your email to our email list. Host a raffle in the actual practice. So, like a physical raffle, like give me your email and you could be entered to a chance to win X amount of dollars off your next purchase or your next frames. There again, like the internet is full of ideas. Like this is just 3, but it's about getting creative. And nowadays people know that, they'll be more willing to give you their email than their address or their phone number. So utilize it.
Great. So Ash, I'm going to turn back to you. How do we know if it's working? How do we know what's effective?
Great question. So this is my favorite part, knowing what you should measure. And these are probably the ones that you will see within those platforms like MailChimp, Constant Contact. These are the ones you should be paying attention to. Open rate, just the number of email opens over the number of emails sent. This is going to tell you how well your subject line is performing. So we said test each piece of your email. The higher the open rate, the more you know your subject line is enticing people enough to open it. Next one is click-through rate. Email opens over clicks to the website. This is how you know that your content is working. It's enticing enough for them to want to come to your website and learn more, or just know more about what you're doing. Bounce rate. This one's really important. As mentioned, it can lower your URL reputation if you're sending to a lot of either bad emails or if people are marking your email as spam. The more people that do that, the lower your URL reputation is, and the more likely that any email you send out, even to a good list, is going to end up in their spam. And then also unsubscribes, something just to keep an eye on, especially when you're testing out your frequency. If you see more unsubscribes coming in when you've increased your frequency of emails, it probably is a good thing to keep in mind to send it less frequently. And sometimes when someone unsubscribes, it gives them an option to tell you why. Take that into your account for the future. And last one is conversion rate. So the number of conversions or leads over clicks. We suggest implementing Google Analytics on your website. That way, once they've clicked in the email to go to your website, you can track and see which pages they're looking at, what they're interested in, and if they book an appointment or call you. That helps to give you that full picture and go back and actually calculate that return on investment.
I get asked all the time, what's good? Like what numbers are benchmarks? So what averages should we be aiming for?
It's such a good question. I get that asked a lot as well. The thing is that there's no magic number. It's going to be whatever you're seeing. You need to kind of just get going and then compare your future emails to ones you've sent in the past. Set your own benchmarks and aim for that.
Awesome. So I guess the answer really is, your first email will probably perform the worst. And as you become more consistent, and once you really look at the numbers at what types of emails, are they promotional, are they educational, are the targeted emails versus the e-blasts, which ones are working, which ones aren't, you'll sort of develop an email strategy as you go along. And ideally you're seeing the numbers increase, right? Yeah. And what's a conversion? Just to wrap this all up, when you say conversion rate, a conversion over clicks, what does conversion mean to you?
Good question. Conversions can be kind of whatever is important to you. Things that we tend to track are phone calls, form submissions. If there's any type of action on your website that you want someone to take, you can consider that a conversion or a lead.
Fantastic. So in our new webinar format, we decided to go half the time, double the impact. That's really the meat of this. We have a couple questions that came through, but before we do that, I do want to do a quick announcement that while Marketing Freebies has supported our clients with email marketing sort of ad hoc in the past, we've actually developed and launched, in that process of launching, our own email marketing product. And so, Maria, that's really your wheelhouse. This is where you work with clients directly, one-on-one. What can people really expect in an email marketing product?
Absolutely. Yeah. So from the beginning, we take care of everything that we have talked to about in this presentation. We take care of everything for you. So, we have a consultation, we get to know your company, we build a strategy, what would be the best frequency, what content we should send, and when we should send it. We then create the emails, and we also, make sure that it's responsive to both mobile and desktop. And so we use MailChimp if you have it, Active Demand, whatever email software that you use, we accommodate to it. And then we also administer your email contact list and then maintain it. So all that we ask from you is just to give us your most updated list. And then from there, we take it, we clean it in NeverBounce, and then we add it to MailChimp or whatever email software provider that you're using. And then, of course, we keep track of all of the emails. That way we, of course, know, okay, this email performed this way. Let's see how the next email performed, and so on and so forth. And that way we create educated strategies for the future quarters.
Cool. So what I'm hearing is work with, what this product is you'll come up with a strategy. We'll do all the work. We'll clean the list. We'll send it. We'll come up with a report. We'll report back on how it's working. And those are a couple examples right there on your screen of what they can look like. So they are very design heavy. They are a kind of a brand lift as well as a call to action as well. So very excited about this. And so to really help kind of get this going, anyone that is live and watching this, or if you're watching it back, we are giving away a 30-minute email strategy consultation with Maria, where she'll take that time with you, look through and explain this in more detail, but look at what you've done in the past, give you some ideas. It really is a walking away with value consultation. And so in order to book yourself in for this 30-minute strategy, go to our website under the email marketing page. You will not see this offer on the website because this is exclusive to those that are watching the webinar. But if you fill out that form, we will absolutely reach back out and book a time for you to meet with Maria to really understand your own email marketing opportunity that's in front of you. As we wrap up, I do want to thank again Johnson & Johnson for their support. One of the questions we had was, when should we clean the list? And so the question is, should I do it before it goes into MailChimp, or does MailChimp actually do that for you? And so I think you answered that with the NeverBounce software. The way that we do it is we'll take a database list. We're asking that it is up to date. So a lot of that is we don't know what's up to date or not, but you provide that. We run it through a software called NeverBounce. It cleans out all of those emails that will actually bounce back, the ones that, because that does impact your domain integrity. And then we take that and upload it into MailChimp. So that's really how that works. Yeah, and so we have posted the link directly in the chat. You can click on that specifically. And if there's any other questions, we are going to also post our email addresses here. And so you can really just reach out to me and I can direct where you'd like that email to go. It's kevin@4ecps.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have, or again, direct you to those people. So thank you guys. One last question that came in. What email software do we all use? Internally, we use sort of our own email software that we have sort of branded and it powers everything we have. However, for the product that we use, we will use whatever you are using yourself. And so we can actually help get you set up in one of these softwares. We can introduce you to the patient management software portion that you guys already have within. So we can really work with you and consult with you to find the best solution. I want to make sure that we don't go a minute over. So thank you to everybody for attending. Maria, thank you so much. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. This will be posted on our website under the webinar section on marketing4ecps.com. Have a fantastic rest of your February, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.